Okay, it is Sunday, June the 20th, and this is going to be the daily recap from last week, which was from Monday the 14th to the 18th. I traded every single day of the week except for Friday. I was just not there for Friday. And to summarize, 8 trades, 4 winning trades, 50% winning percentage. Again, just 8 trades, not too much data to work with, but average dollar gain was 687. Average dollar loss was 967. Some of it was because I've been trying new setups, and a lot of those new setups that I have been trying have been listed stocks, so I've been trading very small on those. And I also had a few shorts as well. Average percent gain 1.26. Average percent loss negative 2.71, which is more obviously, but the thing to really consider is that my average position on the winning trade, although it's not that much to be honest, is 467. My average dollar position on the losing trade was 396. And I did have one trade here that did not work out that I held for a little longer. It's not because I was back holding it or anything. It was just a setup that required me to hold it longer. Overall, just even though I traded, $3,400 a dollar volume, just negative $11. It's not that bad. I've been learning a lot, getting better, and trying new setups. And yeah, 0.32 is very tiny. It's not like, oh, I'm trading a lot of money and I'm just like losing it all. It's nothing like that. These are all the trades I had here for this week, and I'm going to go over them. I think overall it's just not too bad. I've been trying some setups. Some of them have been working, but they work later. A lot of these worked out eventually. This one, this one, this one, this one. We had one that just did not work out. That was a no. One was a kinda, so maybe it wasn't that much range. I believe that was the case. And just trying a bunch of setups. As you can see, there are some listed stocks here, like AMC, GME, and some shorts. I shorted DPLS for an example. I shorted LWLG. I'm going to probably have to make a section somewhere where I distinguish whether the trade was a long or a short. I might put my listed and OTC trades together. I might not, but this is just to show all the trades that I have, and I'm just going to go over it with Thinkorswim, and I need to log in. Hold up. I don't want to break this. I want to do this all in one recording if it's possible. Let me log in right here. And really, I look forward to reviewing all of these trades. I have no idea what happened on Friday. I just wasn't there at all, but it'll be nice to see. Wow, LWLG is at 7. He just kept going. So, yeah, at this point, I'm going to go over all the trades. As in, did the setup work or not? I got a 59, which is a straight up F. And did I trade the setup well or not? I gotta see, which isn't bad, just no, there wasn't like a no or anything. I don't know, I have this like very strictly graded, but I'm overall pretty happy with it. Again, just tried a bunch of new setups, but let's go over some of them. Let's go over the first one, which is NWGC for the 14th, and that was a morning panic bounce play. $14 was about here. It's not the best setup. It's kind of downtrending. It's not near the highs or anything like that. Just considered it for a morning panic bounce play. Let's take a look here at the 14th. Right here. This was it, and it seems like I put as in kinda. It kind of worked out. I traded it well. I got in at 933.36. So let's look at 933 at 117. 933, 117 was right about here. So why did I get in morning panic bounce play? I don't know how much it was down. Probably wasn't down too much. And one thing that really got me in the trade was that this candle right before my entry, and this candle was a green candle, which shows that maybe it can try to reverse. But most importantly, it was just a big volume candle, and sometimes that shows it can be the potential max panic. So I got in at 17, and let's see how long I held this one. I got out the next minute at 19. So right here I got out at 19, give or take, near the top of this candle, just slightly above VWAP, which, believe it or not, has actually been something I've been trying to get good at, to at least sell above VWAP. A lot of these cross the VWAP level. It seems like it did get as high as, what is this, 23 give or take, but there just wasn't that much range. That's probably why I put kinda, as in the setup worked or not. It did. I mean, I could have sold at the very top, you know, but that still wasn't much range. If I were to put 121, for example, let's take a look. Right, you see, it still wouldn't have been much room, even if I sold like very close to the highs. It just didn't provide that much wiggle room, but that's totally fine. Just a good attempt there. It could have been much nicer. And just to see, out of curiosity, it didn't look like it, you know, uptrended later in the day. Okay. Next one was the 15th APTY. Another morning panic bounce play. So let's look at APTY for the 15th. Right about here, looks like another green candle. Again, just trying to find that first initial morning panic bounce play setup on a stock that has been uptrending very nicely. It's in a lot nicer position than NWGC is. Looks pretty nice. Let's again look at the 15th here on the top, which seems to be right here. Looks like it uptrended very nicely throughout the rest of the day. And I got the 18 as it still had more uptrending. Just one more candle, kind of sketchy candle. Volume wasn't really that high anymore, and that's when it started the downtrend, it seems like. So let's go ahead and look at the 15th. I'd say that will be fine. Showing a little bit of pre-market, but let's see. APTY, my entry was at 931, 104. 931, that's a sketchy candle to buy into. And 104, that was a pretty good entry at 104. Sure, it was near the top, but it seems like it wasn't the best setup for me, ideally, because it was just down one red candle. Although that one red candle had a lot of volume, it was probably some kind of gap down, if I had to guess. Slight gap down, but yeah, it just provided a lot of movement. Let's see when I sold. The next minute, 9:32. I need to get better at that. I need to not hold for just 1 minute. 107, and that was, yeah, 9:32, almost 9:33. So some credit there. So 107, the very tippy top of this next candle. So I bought here and I sold the next candle, maybe above VWAP, just barely. Again, that's been a huge goal, just to reach that VWAP level. And as you can tell, this one could have really made my week. I could have done a sell maybe at 116, just out of curiosity. Let's see how it looks if I did it at 116. If I sold better, that would have been much more profitable. It would have made a very profitable week too. You know, considering how much volume I'm trading, dollar volume. I just need to get better at that. Did the setup work? A big yes. Did I trade it well? I said okay, because it only was one big red candle, and this thing could have totally you know, just danced around a little and then made a huge downtrend, which would have been pretty scary. But if I'm in at 107, or what was it? No, 104, and I risk 101, I need to go for at least, you know, 9 ticks from that level, which will bring it to, you know, 13, and it totally got to 13. Well above VWAP. I need to work on that 3-to-1 risk-reward ratio. If I don't see that it is something I can feasibly do in this type of stock, I just shouldn't consider trading it. Just need to continue the working on, you know, just holding a lot of these trades a lot better. I can't beat myself too much. I would put a no here if it dropped for more than just one red candle. The good thing again was that it had a lot of volume. If it was multiple red candles and I traded it like this, I would have put no. I would have put that I traded it badly, even if it didn't work, just because it's just more in favor, and I, you know, don't hold long enough. That would make it a bad trade, if you ask me. All right, and it looks like the same day I traded GME. So this is a listed stock, and this is a morning panic bounce play. That's interesting. Chase. No, I don't think this was a morning panic bounce play. Yeah, because this was a short. This was a reversal short. I think it was like a VWAP breakdown. I'm just gonna put reversal short. I know that wasn't, because this is a short setup. Definitely, this was a short right here. Yeah, this was a short. Let's just take a look. The 15th GME, and you know my entry was at 1042. So let's look at GME for the 15th. It's a nice run up it did previously. 15th was right here. It's a bit sketchy. This thing has been trading back and forth a lot. And let's go back here to the 15th. This was the 15th, and I got in at 1042, I believe. Let's just show the entire thing. Why not? That's fine. And I got in at 1042. I remember this now. This was just a short because this one was downtrending with AMC. AMC being like the leader. And if you look, this is something I've been looking at a lot. This is more of like this is like a VWAP breakdown. It's just something where I got short at 1042, and here's the thing. So it breaks VWAP here, then it kind of crashes, and it didn't really kind of bounce back towards VWAP. That would have made it a lot more ideal, but the idea was that it just cracked to this 220 level that I consider to be pretty important. So I kind of felt like it was going to play back and forth and eventually fade from that 220 level, which it did. We didn't get like any nice spikes towards that 220, and I think 219 was my risk level, but I did not follow it just because of the fact it was my first listed short, I think. I'm just trying new setups, so I just played it a little too cautiously, and yeah, 1042 was short 217.31. And I remember wanting to short it when it was much higher, like this head and shoulders right here. If you go back to the day, to the 15th, I will just go over it in more detail, but I wanted to short the head and shoulders here, shoulder, head, shoulder, and it kind of was doing that confirmed VWAP breakdown, and I guess I just kind of chased it right here at 42. So instead of getting like a short at 223, instead it's around 242, and I'm getting a short at roughly, what is it, 217 something? Yeah, 217.31. And oh wait, yeah, 217.31. That just threw me off. I normally don't trade just one share or something. 217.25 I got out at 1047. So give or take right here. It just seems like it was holding. It wasn't doing this continuous downtrending it was. Right? I pretty much bought the moment this thing started to reverse. Did not want to take a L, so I just went and got covered right at something like right below my entry, just so it's not a, you know, a loss. And yeah, it did get to this level at 219, so maybe I would have cut losses. You know, ideally I risk off of this VWAP level, but if I'm gonna risk $3, I should be getting at least 9. And I guess I got 7, but it wasn't that well. It did do the downtrend that I felt like it was gonna do, but just did not really hold that trade long enough to pull off something like that. And it seems like later in the day it started the uptrend very nicely. It continued to hold its levels, and yeah, it just trades back and forth right now. So not the best setup, but it was a good attempt. Probably could have risked something a little more legitimate, like the VWAP level. So I just need to keep getting better with that and keep working on it. DPLS is the 16th, and this was a reversal short. It doesn't seem like I really do good with these random reversal shorts or reversal longs. Let's look at DPLS for the 16th. It looks like this was the big red candle, so not a bad time to try a morning panic bounce. Well, not even a morning panic bounce play. This was a reversal short. I remember missing the morning panic bounce play, and that one made me a bit salty. As you can tell, very nice price action right here. Let's just go ahead, and I guess from here it doesn't really matter that much. I missed this morning panic bounce play, threw me off. Didn't like the price action, but what was nice is that the volume was fading. That could have been the reason why I should have traded this. Super nice. I mean, from a 7 cent level to You know, 8.3. It's not really that bad. Showed some topping action here. And if I had to guess, I was short somewhere right here. Let's take a look. DPLS, I was short 1002, 832. So 1002 right here, 832. You know, kind of just showing some topping action. A lot of, you know, uptrend previously. Just seems like it's going to be potentially topping off, especially because they had a morning panic. Maybe it's just a morning panic bounces and then you short the top of the morning panic bounce and it downtrends, and that's totally what happened. But I was just off of my timing. I had to cut losses when it kind of cracked this level. It did it eventually right here. You know, I fell very nicely from what, 95 to like 56. That's impressive. That's a lot of, you know, percent gains right there. And yeah, let's see when I covered 1007 at 86. There was some slippage, but it wasn't that bad. Right here, 1007 at 86. And it had more room. It uptrended more. It wasn't that bad. Just probably shouldn't have considered shorting into what was a bull flag looking thing. And I said it right here. Should have gotten out, even though, you know, it could have worked out. Should have just gotten out, not even tried, you know, playing off of my risk level, just getting out because there's a bull flag forming, and those are always sketchy. Although sometimes, you know, maybe you don't call it a bull flag, you call it a symmetrical triangle and it just rips through, but that's not always the case there. And I should have just called off because this is a clear bull flag. I should have been long if anything. So yeah, that's definitely one where I put no, as in did it a setup work? Absolutely not, but it could have worked out if it wasn't maybe a bull flag, but maybe later in the day. You know, I was obviously on the right track, just not the right timing there, and that's totally fine. I had another trade like that where I was just didn't have the right timing with here LWLG. AMC is a cup and handle. I liked this trade even though it didn't make very much. Let's look at the 16th for AMC. It's a nice uptrend. You know, kind of looking a bit sketchy here, but still, it's been a very strong runner. 16th is right here, and when did I get in? 10:19, and I got out the next minute at 10:20. Huh. Let's just highlight the whole day. I got in at 10:19, which was back here. Okay, and my entry was, let me just scoot it down a little since we're getting further. 10:19, 54.87. So let's look at 10:19, 54.87. So give or take right here. It's actually not a bad entry, 54.87. So right about here, that's pretty close. Just a super nice entrance, if you ask me. This was a cup and handle, so I guess we had a bit of a downtrend. Cup, buying the handle right here. It had a little bit of momentum, right? But it wasn't perfect. Didn't look very nice on the daily chart. And ultimately was a VWAP confirmed breakdown, so it kind of broke VWAP at the market open, bounces back, even got above it a little, failed. Nice rejection right there. That's something I need to keep looking forward to, trading in the future with these NASDAQs, you know, these listed stocks, and even OTC is just a VWAP confirmed breakdown. So yeah, I went ahead and took a buy right here, and then I sold the next minute, right? Yeah, the next minute at 55.36. I think a key level was 55.50. I forgot what was the important level. 56 was an important level, and it rejected here. There was a lot of resistance, I believe, from previously. But as it get as high as 56, wouldn't have mattered very much. I didn't trade a large position either. It wasn't bad. I guess an average position, but let's go ahead and look. If I were to put 56, just out of curiosity, yeah, there wasn't that much range, but I guess anybody who's trading AMC, you know, just a flat 100 shares is going to have, you know, is going to consider this trade a lot more than someone like me with a smaller position size. But I liked trading it nonetheless. Maybe the option would have been nicer, but I doubt. Just a little tiny, somewhat degenerate day trader pattern, but you know, it worked out. And why did I put okay if I traded it well? Yeah, it's a problem if I don't want to sell for a loss. So I'm trading off of being profitable or losing than the setup itself. Even though there wasn't much range, I shouldn't trade like that in theory. And for the 17th, 2 L's with FBCD, they were both morning panic bounce plays. It worked eventually, but the turnaround was extremely quick. I did not have the ability, and I don't think a lot of people had an ability to get in when it turned around. You had to already be in it from previously, but you know, somebody probably profited from this, but not me. Let's look at FBCD for the 17th, and that was a morning panic bounce play. So let's look at the 17th. Yeah, it's trading a bit choppy, a little messy, but that's alright. You know, could have been much worse. And let's just highlight it from here. Morning panic bounce play. Next time I see something like this where something's just holding VWAP, I might consider buying and just risking off of the lows of the range. Although sometimes it just cracks it a little and then it makes a move. So it's a bit sketchy, but you can see the turnaround. The big volume candle was right here. So, you know, the same candle that it reversed was the big volume candle. Very hard to enter. It closed right there. Immediately opened here. A little downtrend and then it moved. Then it was kind of like a choke zone. And then it started to uptrend nicely from here for that 21, 25. So that had a lot better range. I'll probably consider like this, you know, something like this more in the future, but I did the best I could. Let's just go over the first one. 935 got in and out the same candle. 222, 216. So 935 was right here. You know, it just seemed like this was the max volume candle at the time. Wasn't really the case. So I got in at 222 right here, you know, and then at 216 I cut it when it cracked the day low, which was 22. When it cracked 22, I immediately got out. Some slippage, but it wasn't that bad. That was one trade in and out that same candle, and then that next one was 936. 936, the same candle right here. 936, 205, 1999. 936, 205 right here was the entry, which in theory seems really nice, and then I got out at 1999. I guess it doesn't really show. I guess it was probably executed, you know. It's funny I sold near the bottom, but this thing could have kept going because, you know, that 2 cent level was super important, but it obviously held it very nicely, and that's really cool. That's something I'll consider rewatching on demand just to see how it played out from another perspective, but I don't mind it. Again, I bought at 205 when it cracked that 2 level, I think, or maybe, yeah, the 2 level. You know, a lot of volume. It was just a bit sketchy, a bit scary. Totally fine. You know, I got out, and then it uptrended immediately again, so I wasn't able to enter the trade anymore. I was actually interested in trading an $800 position because this thing ended up being down from like 10%, I think, give or take right here. At this point it was like 18%, so those were fine. And you know, they do an uptrend later, but that's totally fine. I was on the right track. The timing wasn't perfect. And the last trade was LWLG, and that was a double top short. So LWLG the 17th, 10:05. So LWLG 17th, and it's still uptrending. That's cool. Wow. 17th is right here. Let's just highlight the whole day. And then 10:05 was right here. So I got short right here, and let's see what price. 650. So 650, give or take right here. Look how high it is from the VWAP level. Look how high it is on the daily chart. You know, originally a $1 stock, at least looking not too far, you know, back. Just a really, it looks like an amateur trade now, but it was a good attempt. I shorted, you know, at 650, what was it, 650 flat, and I covered at 615 at 10:20. This is the one where I held a bit longer just because that's what the setup played out to be. I was risking off 6.2, which was the previous day highs, as you can tell right here. Previous day high was this 6.2 give or take level. If you want to be picky wicky with the little wiki thing, sure, but in my mind 6.2 was the level, and that's when I decided to cover at 10.20 when it was cracking that level, and I got out at a very nice level. You know, the loss was tiny. It was just 1.7%. You know, I traded it well, good plan, cut losses quickly, just, you know, held through it, didn't chicken out. And right after we had that break, it was extremely weak. Obviously it went ahead and uptrended later, but super weak breakout right here. Everybody who was long here, you know, and they see the breakout, shorts like me were getting covered, and it just didn't do much. It just probably scared everybody who got into this, or maybe we're even in this choppy dip buy and they just brought it down the view up. I would have covered, you know, ideally at this level right here, which would have been nice, 650 to the 631. It would have been $20 on a $600 position, which wouldn't have been bad. Let's just put 630. Let's be nice to say 634. Had I covered there, yeah, that would have been cool. It looks like ultimately there just wasn't that much range, but you know, this is still a potential short in the future, and I did consider later in the day to short at this range right about here, but I was out of day trades. You know, this is on my PDT account with margin, so I didn't have any more day trades available. Even if I, you know, was able to, you know, short, I don't know if I would have done it, because then I would have felt like, am I just like revenge trading, or is it just really looking like it's going to downtrend here? It was ultimately the backside of the move, because we had that top right there, and it looks like it did uptrend much later. Next day it had a spike, kept uptrending, and that's pretty cool. Now we're in the 7. So yeah, that's about it. That's all I got. I'm gonna rewatch FBCD on demand. I'm not extremely sure how it works. Let's just pretend it wouldn't be too bad to try. Let's see if I can. Can I still see Thursday's price action? Yep. Let's go ahead and just try it. You're gonna see if, you know, and I'm gonna see this too, how nice, well, not nice, the reversal was. Let's look at FBCD at 934 potentially. So FBCD and then 934. This was it, the morning panic bounce play, 934. This is pretty cool. I'm not too used to the level 2 here. It's probably not going to tick perfectly. The one thing with FBCD, not FBCD, TD Ameritrade doesn't really show the print like the actual price. I guess it just rounds. Maybe that can be adjusted. $934. So I still wasn't in it until 9:35, and let's just see how that turnaround happened. Still at 9:34, still panicking. It looks like it's down 10% on the day. This is like when I was in at 222 and I was risking 22. So you can see 22 is right there. You know, I could have in theory like have been here at 222. And then once it breaks that 2.2 level, I immediately cut losses because I didn't want to be a part of a leg down. I've learned greatly from that GC trade, GGII trade before that. You know, that's just something I've learned over time. 221, 935. Still holding that 2.2 level, but as soon as it cracked it, I covered. It was around this minute when I covered, I think. 935. It's down roughly 10% on the day. I think it ended up being roughly 18% at its worst. Some prints at 2.2. A big seller on the ask, I guess. And there we go. Once we crack it, I'm like, I'm out of here. And look, it now became the max volume candle. And then I had that trade in and out here, the same candle, I think. Oh, so I guess this was the first trade. I have no clue. I have no clue. It's a bit confusing, but it's nice to see it. 9:35 was when I traded in and out. Yeah, this was it. You see how weirdly it closed? And then I did one more trade at 9:36. Held that for 10 seconds. Look at 9:36. Roughly 43. I need to put like a second counter somewhere here. I guess it's right here. See it right here, right about 40. So I took a buy at somewhere at this point and just risk off of this 2-cent level. So I probably took a buy somewhere here at 2.05. You know, thinking this might be it. Max volume candle. Rips right through. This was probably me right here with 20,000 shares. And look at how quickly this thing just started to reverse. You know, because I was thinking, alright, what if it cracks 2 cents and then it just, you know, because there's so many dip buyers holding it up, it immediately uptrends. So I was considering, I was probably at some point interested in trading an $800 position, but I didn't, just because it turned around that quickly and I didn't want to chase. And you can tell how quickly it's starting to reverse, you know. At least to me, because again, it's kind of hard to say, okay, it's going to turn around right here. And at this point, I probably just didn't want to, you know, chase it anymore. I also didn't like how VWAP was downtrending towards the candle, which means there might be less range potential. And let's just speed it up a little from here. You know, at this point, I just wasn't going to trade it anymore. But that's a great example of sometimes, you know, it has another leg down. And then you think, oh no, it's going to crack 2 pennies, and then it just holds it. There's a lot of people holding it. Sometimes it doesn't, and it keeps downtrending. But in this case, it held it very nicely. You know, it turned around to me kind of quickly. I'm going to do it one more time at 9:36 at a faster speed just to see how it looked again. Let's just go over it again when it cracks, you know, the 2 cent level. Right there, that's just like, whoa, is it going to actually crack? I don't know how accurate the bid and ask is here, but, you know, immediately just caught itself. Extremely quickly just caught itself. And then it started the uptrend. Sure, maybe if, as a better trader, I could have gotten in at 205 again. But you never know if that's the top. It's, you know, there's a hindsight now that, oh, it worked out, but, you know, at the time you don't really know that. The only indication now that, hey, this thing could be it, is when we're already, you know, at the end of this candle right here, this minute, and look at the volume. This is when you're like, all right, I can take a buy at 21, but then I'm like, that could be chasing, you know. Do I really want to risk a penny, which is 5%? Right? 5%? Yeah. It did it eventually, which is nice. You know? Is there a way to jump further? Yep. And then it started having that sketchy trading at the VWAP level. It broke through, and of course, you know, the rest is history. It did a nice uptrend from there. Let's go back actually to this. You know, had a nice reversal. So yeah, I'm just going to call it off right here. I just need to keep getting better, really. I need to hold a lot of these trades that do work out eventually for longer than a freaking minute. So when I have a FBCD loss like this, just when I take 2 L's, it doesn't really impact my trading that much. And sure, we're talking tiny amounts of money, $11. trading small positions. But it's still something to work forward to, because it will be something that will matter, as I, in theory, will trade larger. But I will stick around roughly trading $500 position sizes. Is clearly, when I traded a bit less right here, $2,000 max, I was a bit profitable. Of course, every week is different, but I need to be able to see that I can trade, give or take, $500 position sizes and be very profitable before I consider trading much larger position sizes. Setups were alright, still experimenting. I did, in theory, try trading smaller sizes on more speculative listed stock trades and shorts as well. I just need to keep going at it. I say this was a good week, and I hope I can get some trades next week, God willing. And yeah, just keep going at it. That's all I got.